How old were you when you first experimented with drugs?
I was 9.
I have an addiction. Can't have an addiction. I've been put out a lot of places. I failed marriage. It all comes in the same swipe.
So now I've done like 6 weeks worth of work and only got paid once. I got my first check, cashed it in, but like 3 blocks down, I got raw.
I would never put a needle in my arm. I would never smoke crack. Then he shot me out, and I haven't go back since.
I've been trying to get housing and SRO and low income for the last 10 years, I know.
Someone said to me, well, why don't you just do some dope? It's cheaper. And I did. I spent easily probably about $300 to $400. But you get so sick from the fentanyl withdrawal that you can't not buy it.
I don't want the hand-me-out anymore. I want to take care of myself.
Eva and Jimmy, I'm sorry. I love you.
Welcome to U.S. Homeless Stories.
How can one of the world's most famous beaches become a place where hundreds of people have nowhere else to sleep? Welcome to U.S. Homeless Stories. Along the sidewalks and palm trees of Venice Beach, hundreds of people experiencing homelessness begin each day with uncertainty. Some wake inside worn-out tents. Others sleep on benches, under blankets, or beside everything they own packed into a shopping cart. Many never imagined life would lead them here. For some, it began with the loss of a job or home. For others, addiction, mental illness, or rising housing costs pushed them onto the streets. Today, they share the same struggle for food, safety, dignity, and hope. Just steps away, visitors walk the boardwalk, enjoy the ocean breeze, and watch the Pacific sunset. Two completely different worlds exist side by side. When a world-famous beach becomes someone's last refuge, what does that reveal about homelessness in America? In this documentary, we look beyond the crowds and into lives too often ignored. Stay until the end, because behind every tent is a story worth hearing. If this story gives you a new perspective, leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to Us Homeless Stories. One, Venice Beach homelessness. Venice Beach is one of Los Angeles' most recognized coastal landmarks, attracting millions with its boardwalk, Pacific waves, street art, and vibrant public life. Yet within this neighborhood of roughly 40,000 residents, many people live without stable housing. Counts and community assessments from 2025-2026 indicate that Venice carries a disproportionately high unhoused population, with many concentrated near the beach and public areas because of the mild climate and accessible resources. This situation reflects wider pressures across Los Angeles, where high living costs, limited affordable housing, and personal hardship contribute to housing loss. In Venice, the contrast is striking. Famous tourist destinations sit beside people navigating daily life without a home. Many organize limited belongings, search for safe places to rest, and meet basic needs in highly visible spaces. Without stable housing, ordinary routines become difficult, creating physical strain and emotional exhaustion. Venice Beach reveals both the resilience of people experiencing homelessness and the systemic barriers keeping many trapped in instability. Without a reliable place to return to, resting, maintaining hygiene, or planning ahead becomes harder. The result is a cycle of uncertainty that affects both physical and emotional well-being. How does living without housing in such a visible location shape a person's daily experience and sense of belonging? This question reminds us that unexpected events can quickly make stability feel fragile. We share responsibility for understanding these realities and supporting meaningful steps toward stability. Homelessness in Venice Beach reflects challenges seen across many American cities. If this story raises your awareness, like the video and subscribe to Us Homeless Stories for more accounts from communities nationwide. Watch until the end for a fuller understanding of the issues explored here. Two, tents across the beach. Temporary shelters appear across parts of Venice Beach, especially along sandy areas, grassy berms, and spaces between the bike path and oceanfront walk. Many gather near the Venice Pier and other busy locations, where groups can range from dozens to more than 100 people. Reports from 2025 to 2026 show that encampments often form in places offering some protection from wind and access to public pathways. For people without housing, these sites provide limited shelter, but also constant hardship. Many sleep in tents or makeshift setups that offer little privacy or protection. Each morning brings the need to secure belongings and search for food, water, and a safe place to remain. Without storage or a permanent address, possessions must be carried or guarded throughout the day. Sand, humidity, exposure, and the lack of basic facilities make rest difficult and deepen exhaustion. Ordinary routines such as preparing food, sleeping safely, or protecting personal belongings become daily struggles. Without a stable place to return to, people live with constant uncertainty and the risk that their temporary shelter may be removed at any moment. Behind this visible hardship is a deep desire for security, privacy, and dignity. What does it mean to rebuild a temporary home every night while knowing it could disappear the next day? This reality reminds us how quickly changing circumstances can leave anyone vulnerable. We share a responsibility to recognize the people behind these shelters and support solutions that address both immediate needs and permanent housing. The conditions at Venice Beach reflect homelessness in communities across the United States. Like this video and subscribe to Us Homeless Stories for more stories. Watch until the end for the full picture. Three, Boardwalk cleanup controversy. Efforts to maintain cleanliness along the Venice Beach Boardwalk involve coordinated city operations focused on sanitation and restoring public access. These activities often target sections near Rose Avenue, Hampton Drive, and the main promenade, where crews remove debris while outreach workers offer support services. Multi-agency reports from 2026 document dozens of operations, with some locations repeatedly addressed because of the heavy use and visibility of the walkway, lined with vendors and performers. These cleanups often become flashpoints of tension within the community. Residents and business owners frequently express relief when encampments are cleared, citing safer conditions for families, improved tourism, and fewer obstacles along public pathways. Many describe years of frustration with crowded or cluttered areas affecting daily life and the neighborhood's appeal. Individuals experiencing homelessness, however, explain that sudden displacement forces them to move belongings, lose temporary shelter, and begin searching again for a safe resting place. Interactions can range from cooperation to visible distress, especially when people have nowhere permanent to go afterward. The conflict reflects the challenge of balancing the concerns of housed residents with the needs of unhoused individuals who depend on public spaces. Cleanups may restore order temporarily, but can also push people from one location to another without adequate alternatives. Residents continue to worry about safety and quality of life, while those without housing face repeated disruption and uncertainty. How can communities design cleanup processes that reduce hardship while addressing the legitimate concerns of residents and visitors? The question encourages common ground and reminds us that changing circumstances can leave anyone needing empathy and practical support. Society shares responsibility for pursuing solutions that protect dignity while preserving the welcoming spirit of Venice Beach. The Boardwalk reflects similar tensions unfolding across the United States. If this honest look at daily struggles resonates with you, like the video and subscribe to Us Homeless Stories for more stories from communities nationwide. Watch until the end for the complete perspective. Four, overloaded public services. Public facilities along the Venice Beach Boardwalk and nearby parks operate under constant and overwhelming pressure. Restrooms, showers, and trash receptacles near the iconic skate plaza and main entrances handle demands from thousands of daily visitors, plus hundreds of individuals who depend on them for basic daily needs. Los Angeles sanitation reports from 2025 document a surge in usage exceeding 300% in these coastal zones during peak summer months compared to pre-2020 levels, resulting in frequent equipment failures and extended closures for repairs. This overload transforms essential public amenities into heavily contested resources where availability fluctuates unpredictably throughout the day. For people experiencing homelessness, these facilities serve as critical but unreliable lifelines. Many spend nights inside public restrooms when other options close or feel too exposed, seeking any measure of shelter and privacy behind locked doors until morning staff arrive. They describe cramped conditions, poor ventilation, and the constant risk of interruption or removal. Yet these spaces provide a temporary barrier against the elements and visibility. Days begin with attempts to maintain personal hygiene in shared stalls that often lack consistent water or supplies, forcing difficult trade-offs between cleanliness and safety. The absence of reliable access intensifies physical discomfort and emotional strain, as every basic act of self-care requires negotiation with limited, overburdened infrastructure and no private space to return to afterward. These conditions expose the real limitations faced by those without housing in a place defined by its openness and beauty. The struggle for basic dignity in overcrowded public facilities adds layers of exhaustion to already challenging lives. How does the daily reality of relying on strange shared spaces affect a person's sense of worth and hope for stability? The situation in Venice Beach underscores a broader truth about life without housing in communities across the United States. Everyone holds a shared responsibility to recognize these human difficulties and back efforts that create more equitable conditions for all. The accounts from this iconic location bring forward the authentic challenges many face every single day. If these realities touch your understanding, liking this video helps carry the message further, and subscribing to Us Homeless Stories allows continued exploration of these important stories. Staying engaged until the conclusion offers deeper perspective on the full scope of these experiences in America. Five, community fatigue. Longtime residents and small business owners in Venice Beach carry a visible weariness shaped by years of navigating altered neighborhood rhythms. Around areas like Centennial Park and the bustling corridors feeding into the Boardwalk, community gatherings in 2026 have drawn crowds exceeding 100 people at times, all expressing fatigue from ongoing adjustments to daily life. Local surveys and neighborhood council notes from early 2026 indicate that over 70% of respondents in nearby blocks report heightened stress related to maintaining a sense of normalcy amid shifting conditions. For families living blocks from the shore, simple pleasures like evening walks or letting children play outdoors now come with extra vigilance. Shopkeepers near the canals describe how the energy that once fueled vibrant tourism feels tempered, as they balance welcoming visitors while managing impacts on their livelihoods. This accumulated tiredness runs deep, born not from indifference but from caring intensely about the place they call home, and watching it transform in ways that affect everyone. The emotional toll surfaces in quiet conversations, where people speak of longing for the carefree Venice they remember, mixed with genuine concern for those struggling nearby. The weight of these experiences touches the heart, revealing how prolonged challenges erode the spirit of a community known for its creativity and openness. What happens to our shared sense of belonging when everyday life in a beloved neighborhood feels increasingly strained? It is a question that invites reflection on how quickly circumstances can shift for any of us, perhaps through job changes or rising costs that push stability just out of reach. In moments like these, we sense a deeper call to empathy that connects all neighbors, housed and unhoused alike, in the common desire for places where everyone can find peace. The realities captured here in Venice Beach offer a window into broader truths about life without stable housing across the United States. If these stories of local resilience and quiet struggle move you, please like this video and join the Us Homeless Stories community by subscribing. Watching through to the conclusion will provide fuller context on the human experiences shaping our coastal cities. Six, homelessness spending results. Substantial funding has been directed toward addressing homelessness in Venice Beach, yet outcomes reveal a complex picture of both investment and results. Initiatives such as the Venice Dell project have secured approximately $45.5 million in combined state and county support by early 2026, targeting 120 units of supportive housing. Broader Los Angeles County reports from 2025 show billions allocated regionally, with specific Venice area outreach engaging hundreds, yet retention rates in some programs hover around 60 to 70% after initial placement, according to available tracking data. For many without housing, these funds represent hope that often feels just beyond reach. Individuals recount moving between temporary options only to face barriers like wait lists or mismatched support that leave them back in familiar spots along the shore. The gap between allocated resources and felt stability creates profound disappointment as days blend into weeks without a reliable door to close at night. Limitations in consistent follow-through amplify the hardship, turning what should be pathways forward into cycles that exhaust both body and spirit. This reality prompts a sobering thought. When large sums are committed, yet many still struggle without a true home, what more can bridge the distance between intention and lasting security? Such questions remind us how easily financial or personal hardships could place any one of us in similar uncertainty, emphasizing our shared stake in more effective outcomes. There exists a collective responsibility to learn from these efforts and champion improvements that truly honor the dignity of every person working to rebuild their lives. These accounts from Venice Beach illuminate the tangible challenges of homelessness throughout America. Should this examination of resources and real lives stir your thoughts, a like would mean a great deal. And subscribing to Us Homeless Stories lets you walk alongside us for more stories that matter. Please stay until the end for the complete perspective. Seven, long-term housing solutions. Long-term solutions for people experiencing chronic homelessness in Venice Beach must extend far beyond temporary shelter. Projects such as the Venice Bridge Home and related developments aim to create more than 300 supportive housing units that combine stable accommodation with health coordination, skill development, and community-based assistance. Data from comparable Los Angeles programs in 2025-2026 shows that housing paired with personalized support can achieve retention rates above 80% over 2 years, offering strong evidence that lasting stability is possible when the right services remain in place. For people who have lived without secure housing for years, rebuilding life is both physically and emotionally exhausting. Carrying possessions each day, searching for safe places to sleep, and managing health needs without a permanent address gradually affects relationships, employment opportunities, daily routines, and personal hope. Without a stable home base, even simple goals such as resting safely, keeping appointments, or planning beyond the next day can feel nearly impossible. Over time, this constant uncertainty creates deep fatigue and isolation. Permanent supportive housing can address major barriers such as affordability, healthcare access, and long-term security. However, every individual faces different circumstances, which means effective programs must provide flexible and personalized assistance rather than relying on a single approach. Progress in Venice Beach remains gradual, but it demonstrates what can happen when housing, services, and community resources work together around real human needs. These efforts also raise an important question. How can supportive housing help people feel truly safe, respected, and connected after years of displacement? Homelessness can affect anyone when financial pressure, health problems, job loss, or personal crises suddenly change the direction of life. Society carries a shared responsibility to create solutions that restore dignity, opportunity, privacy, and belonging. The experiences documented in Venice Beach reflect the broader reality of chronic homelessness across the United States. Lasting progress requires secure housing, sustained support, and patience as people rebuild their lives step by step. If these stories resonate with you, like this video and subscribe to Us Homeless Stories. Watch until the end for the full context behind these important realities. Eight, Venice Beach's future. The future of Venice Beach depends on how thoughtfully its vibrant community, visitors, and leaders address the balance between preserving its world-renowned character and meeting the needs of every person who seeks refuge within its borders. With continued focus on integrated housing initiatives and improvements to public spaces, the area holds real potential to emerge as a place where the Boardwalk's creative energy and coastal beauty support stability for all. Recent enumerations in 2025 recorded steadier patterns in key Venice zones, indicating that consistent, coordinated work can gradually ease visible pressures when aligned with practical human-centered strategies. For those living without stable housing, questions about what lies ahead carry particular emotional depth. Many hold quiet hopes for a time when they no longer need to search nightly for safety, when they can finally establish routines and relationships without the weight of constant uncertainty. The prolonged lack of a true home brings ongoing limitations that touch every part of daily life, from the physical toll of exposure and interrupted rest to the deeper sense of disconnection from the simple security most others rely upon. These experiences foster a resilient yet weary spirit, as individuals continue moving forward while carrying the unspoken desire for belonging and peace in a place as iconic as Venice Beach. The road ahead calls for sustained collaboration that honors both the neighborhood's unique identity and the dignity of its residents. When investments in supportive housing and community resources take root, they create conditions where people can rebuild with greater confidence and contribute their own strengths back to the shared space. Venice Beach, long celebrated for its openness and artistic soul, has the opportunity to model how a community can evolve with compassion while protecting what makes it special for everyone who visits or calls it home. In reflecting on these possibilities, one meaningful question arises: what kind of future can we help shape for a place like Venice Beach so that its welcoming spirit truly extends to all? This thought gently reminds us that life's circumstances remain unpredictable, and any of us could one day benefit from the same understanding and support we wish for others. We each hold a shared responsibility to care for one another through actions that build lasting stability and restore hope where it has grown dim. May those experiencing homelessness in Venice Beach and beyond find comfort, safety, and meaningful paths forward. May kindness and opportunity reach them in their daily journeys, bringing light to their resilience and strength. From the bottom of our hearts at Us Homeless Stories, we extend sincere thanks to every viewer who stayed with this story until the very end. Your time and attention allow these important realities to be shared and understood more deeply. If the experiences and truths presented here have touched you, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Us Homeless Stories, so we can continue bringing forward these human stories from communities across America. Your presence here matters greatly.